when aren't times changing? Now look, some people embrace change. Other people don't like change. So you say, is leadership a function of personality? Well, some people say that it is. So then therefore that goes to the theory that leaders are born. But then some people say leaders are made. And some people go to school and they study leadership. Now, I went to school to study leadership because in my field, I had to study to become a leader. I always knew I wanted to be a teacher. So I went to school and I studied to be a teacher. And then shortly on, and so did my husband. So shortly on in my career as a teacher, I knew I wanted to be a principal. Principals are leaders, and as Mahesh told you, I led 3 schools. In a career as principals, some people stay and they lead 1 school. They stay for 25 or 30 years and they lead 1 school. In my career, I led 3 schools. But I embrace change. I'm that kind of person. You probably could see by looking at me, gee, she's, look at her, she looks this way. Some people look a different way. But I'm an innovative change agent. And when I was brought into my schools, each time a superintendent who leads a school district said, we need change in our school. And you are the person who's brought to change this school. But like I said, not everybody likes change. Some people like it, some people don't like it. So as innovative lion leaders, that's the challenge that's going to be facing you. Look at Steve Jobs. He's the person who founded Apple, right? So when Microsoft first came along, everybody thought, oh, this is the big new computer thing, right? But some people like the iPhone, some people like the Samsung, some people like the Dell. But I mean, I'm an Apple user and I love it. We have so many Apple products in our house, but then you've got a whole group of people say, I wouldn't touch Apple. That's not my thing. But now the new product, Apple Watch, how many people have already pre-ordered that online? And it's a fortune, but some people love that. So what is leadership, right? That's what we're going to talk about today. You have to have a leader in order to have innovation. It's not, things aren't going to change without a leader. And that's what Kevin and I are going to teach you about today. Leaders foster commitment within their teams. And in a little while, I call him Mac. That's just my nickname for Mr. McAvoy, Kevin. Mac and I are going to get you into some teams, and we're going to get into some leadership teams and have an activity where we're going to give you a task that relates to Lions Club and the work that you do, and you're going to get into some teams and do some things. But so listen very carefully to what I'm going to talk to you, because there are, what I think about are some 5 pillars of leadership. You have to trust yourself in order to trust others. So when you become a leader and you have to make change within your team, you have to trust yourself, because other people aren't going to trust you if you don't trust yourself. Leadership is difficult, but if you walk into a room, hey guys, we're going to work on this project today, you think people are going to trust that? They're not. But if you come into a room and you're strong and you're capable and you say, today this is what we're going to do and we're going to work on this together, and you're strong and you trust yourself, people are going to trust you. Because a strong leader, people are going to trust. You believe in yourself, you believe in the direction you're going in. Change is not easy, but nothing happens without change, and that's innovation. You're breaking down old values and you're creating new ones. That's change. Embrace it, love it, grab it, go for it, and people are going to go with you. You're going to go together. Gone is the old idea of the person marching out there and people following. Leaders go together with their team. That's leadership. Your ability to coexist with others will form a bond with your team. Soccer team, football team, baseball team, think of any team. If you love sports, think of how a sports team works together in order to win. That's the goal of a sports team, is to win, whether it's a game or a match or I don't know, I'm not like the greatest at sports. Like I go to a football game and I say, what inning is it, But think of those types of things that you love where a goal is accomplished. I know you're laughing, but I'm not so good at that, but I can readily admit it, But think of something where a goal happens and people work together. That's leadership. In leadership, you collaborate and you discover together. Take a leap of faith together and discover new ways of thinking. And that's leadership. You never know which ideas are going to take shape. Today, a leader does not say, this is what we're going to do and this is how it's going to happen. You never know what's going to happen. When you set out with something in mind, be open and available to the things that are going to happen, and it will. I don't know, people used to call it brainstorming. I don't even know if they use that idea anymore. But when you go into an activity, wait and see what's going to happen. Let ideas happen. Be available to things, and you'll see what happens, because it's a lot of fun. When you start to communicate, keep in mind that you want to learn. Keep that as your goal, and then be available to learn, and you will. View yourselves as a communications lab. You know, in science, when you have chemistry or physics or biology and you go into your laboratory is where your learning happens. That's what leadership is. It's a learning laboratory. That's where things happen. You're going to plant seeds for future innovations, and little by little by little by little, your idea takes shape. Be courageous and become a change agent. And the more you change, the more your ideas take shape. See things as a continuum of change. Don't think of things as a step. See things on a continuum, and you'll see your innovation happening. Take risks. Don't be afraid to quote unquote fail. There's no failure in leadership. No one's going to go like this, bad idea, bad idea. Nothing horrible is going to happen. It's not like getting like an F or something like that. That's not leadership. Don't worry about that kind of stuff. No one's going to make a value judgment on you. Take charge, and ultimately things will get better and your performance will improve. And the very last thing I want you to think about is keep changing your course to perfect, because the more you change your course, the better off things will be. And then think about this one quote from Steve Jobs. I think this is kind of cool. Mr. Mac gave you sometimes I call him Mr. Mac too when I think of him in the classroom, because that's what they used to call him. Steve Jobs had an interesting quote, and he said, "Innovation is the creation of something new that has the power to change the workplace, industry, the country, or the world." I mean, look at what's happening today. And I mean, things happen so fast. Kev, you know, I call him Kev sometimes too. I probably have a million names for him. I call him Mackie sometimes too. He left you with something from Twitter. I mean, we're both Twitter fiends. We have thousands and thousands of, and I'll leave you with my Facebook, my Twitter, my email, my Yahoo, and all that kind of stuff when we go. So you can follow us if you want, or get in touch with us if you want. But think of how quickly things change in the world, and how exciting it is to keep track of things. Think of where we would be if we didn't have Steve Jobs with Apple. I mean, what an exciting world it is, right? So now I think it's time to turn it back over to you, Kevin, because you're going to talk a little bit about the activity.
Sure.
That we're
I
going
just want
to
to
do,
qualify
okay?
a couple of things Donna said.
Sure. I'm going to have a little bit of water. I'm thirsty. Hope I gave you a lot to think about.
Almost too much.
Well, that's okay. A little brain overload, huh? That's good. I want to see that twinkle in your eyes.
I have the floor.
Yes, sir.
Almost too much. There was so much information there, and it wasn't like it was my classroom where you had your notebook out and I was requiring for you to make note of this, or you even had your camera out for that matter, since we in East Brunswick we have a bring your own device policy, and quite regularly students are filming the classes. So, and getting back to a point that Donna said a lot. And as we've spoken for 15 minutes, and then there'll be an activity for 15 minutes, and then we'll wrap it up and we'll talk some more, and then you'll go on your merry way. If you take just one thing out of here. Whatever it is. A lot was said. You're going to work with one another in a group. You're going to talk. If you just take one thing with you out of here, I consider it a passing grade. And I did like the point Donna made about failure. That is the most recent wave in education, that it's okay to fail. No, it's not okay to get an F on your report card. No, no, no. But it's okay to fail in this activity so that you can build upon that activity to make yourself stronger, to make yourself more innovative. All right, what we'd like to do now, right? Because what we have is we really have a cross section of students. Like I said, from probably 13, 14 through 17 and maybe even 18. And you come from different schools throughout the county, and I was speaking before the program, it's not as if everyone knows one another. So we are just going to break you down into groups so that we can work on an activity. But as I was sitting over here, the bottom line is that you're leaders. Sometimes there were problems in classrooms with groups being formed. Oh, I didn't want to be with that person. This person's going to do all the work. I want to be in that group. That's not what's going on here. This is a Saturday morning. You've chosen to be here. You are leaders, and you're getting credit for your work here within the parameters of the entire Lion organization. I guess
yeah, it's
because I was watching the eyes go, and then I was watching you look at me. So even though we're going to have 17-year-olds with 14-year-olds, so be it. Because I'm just going to make it easy and
why don't we count off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we'll just put the ones.
Well, I was thinking if we leave them where they're seated.
Whatever.
You know.
Why don't go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we could mix up and meet some more people.
Okay. Like we're going to do some counting then, Donna, like in third grade?
5. I don't know.
Okay, yeah. 1,
2, 3,
4,
5.
1.
It's okay.
We didn't explain much.
I'm sorry, I didn't explain myself. Please don't laugh at one another.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3,
3, 5. 1, 2, 3,
5.
1, 2, 3.
Did you get the 2? I don't mean to be pointing. I hear a 2.
3.
1, 2.
So,
All the ones get together, all the twos.
okay, how about if we just, let's sort of cluster the ones with these 2 tables, the 2s with those 2 end tables, maybe the 3s over here, the 4s over there, and the 5s in the other room. That's not even make it easier. Let it go, Doc. Made the decision.
Okay.
And put the 5 so that you can hear us or see us, okay? Okay, I'm well aware of that. I made enough for everybody.
Okay.
Because what the room allows for is to be able to turn. The room allows, we have the 1s here, 2s here, 3s, 4s, 5s. And you're gonna, again, allow for the chairs to spin so that you can check. Why don't you guys sit, okay? Sit together. Maybe it is the nature of the beast, being that you do not know one another, but let's put on some friendly faces. And why don't you just use literally the next minute, I'm going to count it off to introduce yourselves within the group. Go ahead. 59, 58, 57, 56.
Hi.
Nice. Here's how I used to introduce. Here's how, it's an anecdote that's just running through my brain, especially for anyone in high school. This is how I used to do groups in the classroom. I would start the school year in a very traditional sense of just doing lectures and whatnot. And about a month into the classroom, I could identify the leaders. I knew who the leaders were in the classroom, and I knew who the kids were who needed to be guided. But I always chose this technique. I would say to the, I would grab the leaders and say, listen, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to leave the classroom and the groups are going to be formed. So I'm going to count on you to grab the kid who needs to be led and bring him into your group. So I would say to the students, hey, how many of you want me to pick groups, or how many of you want to pick your own groups? And everybody, oh, we'll pick our own group, Mr. Mack. I said, okay, fine, I trust you. I'm going to leave the classroom for 30 seconds, which was a major no-no, but I did it anyway. And I left the classroom for 30 seconds, and when I came back in, all the groups were formed. All the groups were formed. And that was done, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. That was done because of leadership. I don't care if you're 14 or 18 in this room. If you are a leader, you know how to get along with people who are in your same friendly group. And that's what I saw here. Oh, Donna's giving me the thing on time, because I know it is a Saturday, and it's the nicest Saturday of the year, so I guess we do want to get you out of here. You want me to, okay, so okay. You have pens on?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we should have them.
Okay.
Because you're going to need it. We're going to give each group a task that is real. All right? And from that task, you're going to have to complete some innovative ideas for the task. For argument's sake, I'm going to use group 1 as the model. In group 1, and I'll be giving each one of the groups a sheet of paper that has the task. The snap is to pay attention. Your task is to recruit 5 new Lions members from your high school to join the Lions group. That is your task. The question is, how are you going to do that in an innovative fashion? And what we need 3 things. Each group will get a sheet of paper like this. We're going to need 3 things from you. We're going to need a message or a text for your audience. We're going to need a slogan or a branding for this project. And you're going to tell us exactly, I've given you an abstraction. You're going to tell us exactly how you're going to accomplish this. That is an example of one. So as I hand out the 2 and the 3 and the 4 and the 5, Don and I will come around to clarify the information for you. Donnie, a pencil in?
Yeah.
These leaders?
Yeah,
Is this 2? 3. This is 3. I'll give you 3. Schedule a visit to the hands-on pantry to distribute food. Answer these 3 questions in the process. You may have to turn around to work. Okay. Group 2? I'm coming. Schedule a visit to JFK Medical Center for the children.
Are we visiting or are they visiting?
I'm trying to get them to visit.
Nice. Right. 4. Okay. This is the one I like. Create a new innovation. Create a new anti-bullying campaign for a 10th grade class.
So like, what would you do? What would your message be? What would your like brand be? And what would your
Okay, so 5. Innovative.
okay, do you get it?
Organize
Mhm.
a
You get it?
t-shirt and
Okay,
something.
go. Because you have about 10 minutes to work on this, okay? You guys understand what you're gonna do? Like, you really wanna get some.
Okay.
But you just don't wanna go, oh, you want to be members. You know what I mean? You kind of like think of like a really, like
attention.
It's gotta be
You want a brand, you want a message. You just want to put posters on the wall. That's so been there, done that. You know what I mean? You want a YouTube commercial, you want an Instagram, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's really gonna get, you know?
You know what we'll do, Don? Why don't we let them go for 5 minutes without us? Without us. They don't need us.
Okay, they don't need
They're
us.
innovative.
They're innovative, okay.
Basically all the social media.
Okay, we're gonna do.
$100 for each.
What are you looking for? That's
And then we'll,
So proud of you.
That would be so slow. You guys are like writing that. Yeah.
Maybe you can hashtag it mine.
we're gonna have another 10. Roll with it. They come in. It's all really,
So.
Maybe like volunteer.
We just want to generalize and say that. I'm gonna use.
yes, you can write on, that's why Donna gave you some paper. Write anywhere. Come on. I'm gonna call on you and tell me what's going on. Right?
It has to be called.
Yeah, because it's always the same, right?
It goes back to like.
Maybe it's from
And,
So.
I don't think you're.
Okay, how would we?
Didn't have what's going on. But to do something. I don't want to give you anything. Try it. See what happens.
Literation repetition. Because it builds.
We're gonna call on you to share a little bit, so. And I don't want to jump in, so
Make them feel like they should.
someone's gonna talk. When I ask you to share a little, make sure you have a spokesperson. I like the look of, oh my God. Innovation and leadership, all 5 of you should be, I want to do that. Good, you got something going? Good.
Just not all there. Don't put it.
Maybe. It's there.
Hey, guys, you're about halfway through your work time, just so you know.
A little more than halfway through.
Same. Right?
Why is it 2 hours? No, I think why is it hour?
Yeah, you can shape our
Post the blank. How I could join virtual.
It's okay, but I mean.
No, that's offensive.
Can't be like ads. Just to tell them.
Or do like a commercial. Yeah, as a commercial. It's like back in school, like when they say. Or like when they kind of like project what to do stuff. Or like if you
You have some questions you want, if you write any down, otherwise we can, I have some ideas. I'm gonna have them work, I'm gonna have them talk more throughout, I don't want to coming up here, you might hear.
And we can include multiple. So. I don't know why you guys don't.
I might,
It would make sense.
Okay, you're gonna turn I know, I see myself getting nervous. The students in the groups now are working on a small task. They've been given the opportunity to practice the pillars of leadership, and each group, as you see them working now, have been assigned a task to, for example, go to a veterans home and organize a sock drive, or to recruit new members from their local high school. They were randomly assigned into groups of 4 or 5 students, and now they're applying the pillars of leadership. So we're hoping that they've been able to take some of the innovative ideas that we were lecturing just shortly ago and work together in teams and apply the pillars now. So just in a few minutes, we're going to ask them to present their project ideas. Thank you.
You want to bring 5 back in? Yeah, I think, why don't you go there and see if they are done, and have them come in so that.
Better and nothing. Situation.
All right, group 5 is coming back in. I think we have a sense of where we want to be right now. Just take your seats anywhere, guys. You don't have to. We'll have a spokesperson. You don't have to cluster together, nor do you really don't have to turn your seats. I can sort of stand over here. The thing that one of the pieces that Donna and I did not go off and talk a lot about is collaboration. And you hear this all the time in your schools, because if you're a leader here, you're probably a leader at your school. You're probably a leader in the religious group that you belong to, and you're a leader here in the Lions organization. But collaboration is key, and I think that's sort of why we left it out, because I did not expect the diversity in age that I came to witness here, and to see the participation of all of the, for the most part, all of the members, whether you were young or old, and the real key here for the younger people was the respect and admiration I saw of the older kids in the group who were listening to attentively and respecting the thoughts of the younger kids in the group. So that worked well. And so that's just some complimentary ideas. Donna, did you want to talk anything about what you saw with the group work?
The process, which I thought was highly respectful, and I want to echo what Mac noticed today. And just for me, on a personal note, it just was such a joy to once again experience the teaching process. I've been retired for a number of years again, and I just want to thank you and honor you for your joy today in that experience. So I thank you for that. It was
and I'm retired from the classroom too,
Mm-hmm.
but because I'm doing that Board of Education gig, I still have a feel for what's going on, and the barometer with regard to the feel is group work. And I always preach that if the assignment was good, then the group work can happen. But when the assignment stinks, then the group work is a waste of time. And you know, I know you know, because I know that it can work and it also can fail. So why don't we start with group number 3 instead of putting the pressure on group number 1.
Sure.
Group number 3 was over here. The task that group 3 was given so that everybody knows.
Schedule a visit to Hands of Hope Pantry in Edison to distribute food. That's a food bank here in Edison, and it's a very lively and successful food bank. So, and that would be great. Thank you so much.
So pretty much our slogan was quick, and we wanted to like get the message out there quick and get all the points, right? And the slogan was lend a hand to Hands of Hope. Okay. The message was we're not only there to distribute food, all right? There's much more that you can do. You just don't keep a piece of like a loaf of bread in front of someone's face and tell them to eat it and just sleep. You can sit down there and brighten someone's day, make them smile. Okay, it has much more meaning than just giving food. Distributing food means distributing happiness and everything. And our message really had to do with what we want to accomplish. Not only did we want to respect everyone there, but we also wanted to respect ourselves. And at the end, we just wanted the confidence to arise in everyone and themselves too. And we kind of divvied up all the work, and everyone did a great job.
Good. Thank you. That was very good presentation. Do you think it's real what we asked of the group? Do you think it's something that Lions members could do?
Well, yeah, Lions members have done this, and I've actually attended this, but I mean, food pantries, everyone does, and everyone can pass out food. Anyone can do that, but it takes only some people can actually brighten someone's day, and I think Lions has people that can do that.
So within the group, let's say there were, again, there's about 30 of you today. You think it's a reality that you could organize maybe 50 kids, get a bus to make your way over to Hands of Hope to work on a given Saturday?
Yeah, sure. My answer to that is why not?
Why not? And I did like the logo or the branding, lend a hand, right? Lend a hand for the Hands of Hope. It's interesting that we, as a school district in East Brunswick, we are paying a corporation to come up with a branding name for our district. I think we could maybe contract this young man to do some work for us. That's how good that was. Thank you very much. Let's go from 3 to 4. Was 4 the, Donna, what was 4?
4 is create a new anti-bullying campaign with the 5th grade class in a school in Edison.
Okay.
Okay, so our approach to this was, so everyone has a social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, anything, or they have iPods, iPads.
Stand up and tell them. People cannot listen to you.
Yeah, so great.
So
Thanks.
everyone has like a social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever they have. They have iPods, iPads, iPhones, Androids, whatever they have, right? So our goal is to create a hashtag stand up. So which you would like tag in a photo, like you can just like a chainmail sort of thing. You tag 10 people in a photo with hashtag stand up, and then those 10 people can tag another 10 people. They tag another 10 people. And they keep on going, and everyone knows about hashtag stand up. And the point of this hashtag stand up is say I'm at a school, right? And I see a friend or like someone else being bullied or being hurt physically, mentally, verbally, emotionally, whatever. It's my objective to like stand up for them, help them out, and be an upstander, not a bystander.
Mhm.
So
It's beautiful.
Great, great. So the hashtag is also the branding, right? And Donna we did say fifth graders. Do you see fifth graders on social media? Oh yeah, I like that. Oh yeah. So yeah, I mean, everybody now, right? Everybody can be communicated with if we're talking about a brand new medium or methodology of preventing bullying. I like that.
Can I interject something on that?
You may.
Because what I
Anyone
love, what is your first name?
Soham.
Soham? What I love about your group's ideas, Soham, is because hashtag goes across social media, so that whether you are on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, it goes across all the mediums. So whether you're on any of the medium and you're hashtagging, it goes across all the medium, and I love that. That's personally because.
So much easier to get the 10 and then 10 more. And
Right,
10 more.
10
That
goes,
really would take
10
off.
times 10 is already 100, times 10 is 1,000, so I just.
I also like the piece that was
Mhm.
concrete. You had a definitive methodology to solving the problem.
Mhm.
It wasn't a quasi-abstract thing. We're going to do it over here. We're going to do it.
It's
And that
done.
is what innovative leaders do. They accomplish something new for the betterment of others.
And it's done, it's out there, vum, it's great.
Let's go to squad one.
Squad one,
Squad one.
recruit 5 new high school Lion members to the Edison chapter.
Okay.
So the way we were going to do this was by using humor.
Do you want them to stand?
Yes.
Only because we
Because
want
we're
you to
sharing
stand.
online,
I didn't want you to stand, but because this is being, we're going worldwide here with the camera, so other students want to see this.
Just a little louder so that.
Alright, so
All
we
right.
used humor for our recruitment method, and our slogan was a pun which said, "You would be lying if you said you didn't." And the way we were going to do this was during the morning announcements on school websites. We were going to film a commercial with a lion wearing a lion costume, and he would spot a situation and he would fix the situation by looking at the camera and saying, "Don't fear, the leader is here." And
I like it. Good.
and the message for this was to obtain innovative, groundbreaking leaders for our society.
Yeah. A lot there. So as I made my way around, I didn't want to interview the groups. All the groups were, but especially you guys were busy on this small task on a Saturday morning with regard to leadership and innovation. But that would really work. That is something that would definitely work. And other organizations might even want to steal your ideas.
Can I ask real
Donna.
quick, just a quick question now, in your high school now, does the morning announcements broadcast to all the classrooms? Fabulous,
Mhm.
fabulous. And is it like online, is it through the computers or a television screen? I'm just curious. Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were. Yeah. Intercom, cool.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
See, it's because of the studio. It's not only is it a live broadcast during your homeroom, but it's also a feed to Twitter.
I have an idea though.
You can see it later.
I have an idea. Woo-hoo. Write a grant. If you have somebody who likes to write, all you have to do is write a grant to the county, and then try to get televisions in your high school because they are, Middlesex County freeholders, because they are so generous and they believe in the schools. That would be Charles Tomorrow because he lives in Edison. And he loves the schools.
Well, Donna's making a very good point. There is no doubt
but you need to know about this, right?
Right.
There's no doubt that
Mhm.
there is money available
Yes, there
for
is.
progressive, dynamic,
Mhm.
exciting things that are going on in
Right, talk to your
school
principal.
from the county.
Mhm.
Group, because they
I think we
combined
need,
a bunch, they got the
I think
branding
we
in
need
there, they
tests
got
too. Yeah,
the
we have,
text message, the message that's
yeah.
going out.
Mhm.
Group,
Don't be without TV. You need it. Hook it up to your computers.
Group
Group two.
not even sure what.
Task 2.
House two?
Schedule a visit to the JFK Medical Center, Children's Center on a Saturday.
Okay.
Or any day of the week, really, but we just thought Saturday because, you know. Here we are.
Okay, so since it said on a Saturday, so we, our focus was in high school kids. And so the incentive for to go on a Saturday was to get volunteering hours, because as many of the high school students know, that you need to get like a specific amount of hours to graduate from high school. So that was our main idea. So our slogan was bring an innocent smile on the child's face while getting your volunteering hours. So, and basically our message was you have to like help the kids to socialize and have fun, because one day they're going to be your age and they might remember you, that a friend of mine helped me. And then and that's like, and yeah, you can just get volunteering hours for that as well.
I like the angle, there's no ifs, ands, or buts.
No, you have to get a lot of hours.
You know, no matter what high school you're at, I'm just speaking for East Brunswick High School. And again, leaders tend to be students who have the grade point averages that are high, that tend to be our National Honor Society kids, and they all need volunteer hours. And it's not, it's not something, you're not dissing the teacher or the person in the organization by saying, I need hours, because they know you need hours. Because there was a time when Don and I were in school, or probably any of the adults were in school, they didn't have the mandatory volunteer stuff. And what leaders do is they sort of go beyond looking for hours because they just want to do it. You're gonna do, you know, the pantry stuff because you want to do it. You're gonna recruit because you're gonna want to do it. Donna?
And don't be afraid to visit children in the hospital, because you know what? Everybody ends up in the hospital for whatever reason once in a while, and it can be a scary place. So it's okay to do that, because it makes you feel better when you get visits there. You know, and just from our experience, JFK is a great hospital, and they, you know, it's a great, great place. So that was a little commercial. Task 5, organize a t-shirt and sock drive for the Veterans Home in Menlo Park in Edison.
And we passed it on the way over here.
Yeah. Yep.
Our slogan was veterans have served our country, now it's your turn.
Nice.
Oh, that's.
And what we wanted to accomplish was to donate as many shirts as possible and socks for the veterans.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you see that as a reality? Could that be something that could be organized by Lions leaders?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
We were also thinking that to actually promote the drive, we could also, like, for every item you bring in, you could get a raffle, and at the end, it would be kind of like a lottery. You
Nice.
put out-
Incentive, I like that. It's a really good idea. Because everybody, right? I do the same thing myself. I'll be doing something and there's a lot. Yeah, how much do you know? I gotta get in on that.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Haven't won
Right.
yet, but, Donna.
Did you guys have fun doing that? Was that like pretty like different, you know, because when Mr. Mack and I were putting this together, we thought, well, you know, it's a Saturday afternoon, you know, we know that you're all committed to becoming future leaders, but just to sit and listen to a couple of adults, blah, 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 you know, we thought, well, let's just mix it up a little and get something fun to do, you know, something a little different, maybe get involved, maybe meet some people that we haven't had a chance to meet before, get involved with some people. So we hope you enjoyed that and learned a few new things maybe you hadn't learned before, get to know a few new people you haven't met before, and get a few new ideas up in the noggins. So,
Like I said, if you come out of here with one idea, whether it's actually out of the work you did with your classmates or your fellow line leaders, that's great.
yeah, here you go.
But the thing that I would want you to think about is never be afraid to try the new idea that might help someone else.
Don't be afraid.
And that's why we sort of tried to make tasks that dealt with helping others, because that's a big part of our life. When I say my wife and I, it's a big part of, I'm sure, the other adults in the room
and we're trying to foster that with you too. So we appreciate your paying attention this morning. Go.
I just had a question when you were talking in the meeting.
So innovation leads to invention,
Mhm.
but it's not commutative, right?
Not necessarily, right? It doesn't have to be. And that's why we said, oftentimes the innovative piece, let's say it is invention, can be a hands-on thing. But for students who are ages of 15 to 18 in the room before me, not that it's an abstraction, but it's an idea.
And I'll tell you
And
something
you got,
too.
and I want you to walk out this door and run with some ideas for the future.
And don't be afraid to fail. I know we keep getting back to that because, you know, like all the big sports guys tell you, if you don't fall down, you never get up and everything. But I'll tell you something personal that this is how I met Mahesh, and I'm so glad he invited me. But I ran for political office just this last November in a municipal cycle. I really want to be on my council in my town, and I didn't win. You know, but if I never took the risk, I never would have had the experience of meeting as many fabulous, wonderful people that I met, and I came really close. I didn't not win by a big, huge, terrible, terrible margin. You know, it was close. It was a close race, but it was a fabulous, fabulous experience. And I'm going to run again. I won't let it beat me down. And everybody said, oh, you'll win next time, you'll win next time. But that's not the point. The point was the people that I met, the places that I went, the places in my town that I never, ever, ever even knew existed. I mean, you live in a bigger town than we do, Edison. I mean, your town is much, much bigger than our town. But we live in a town of 45,000 people. And I'm an advocate for quality of life and a good life. I've always been an advocate for moving forward and brain power and living a good life and ideals of free thought and free society. And so is my husband. But don't be afraid. Get out there, be a leader, make a difference in your society, and innovate and take risks, and don't be afraid. That's what it's all about. Yeah, there you go. Innovation distinguishes a leader and a follower. It's, you know, so you can't always be the one out there, you know, making the change and the difference and everything, but that's what your Lions Club is about. That's why you're lions and lionesses and all those, you know, different things. That's why you're here. That's why you are who you are and why you've chosen to be who you are. It's about choices. We make choices every single day, from the meals that we eat to the clothes that we put on to everything else that we do. But do it. Get out there and make a change. So that's
Thanks,
my
Carlos.
spiel. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, sure.
Thank you, Donna and Kevin. This was really interesting. This was innovative, isn't it? We always used to have speeches and PowerPoints, and this was more innovative for the topic of innovation. Again, to thank Kevin and Donna, I have our district pin. I wanted to give it to.
Oh.
It says Vision Beyond Sight.
Beautiful.
And that is what
Right.
innovation is about. Thank you for everything. And
Nice, very nice.
she wants to take a picture.
Oh, good, good. And I'll put it on my lapel. Thank you. Okay.
And this is our International President's pin from last year. It says "Follow Your Dream." This has got the Sydney Opera House on that.
Oh, how beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming and helping us.
Oh, my
Okay, thanks.
pleasure. Thank you.
Can I get you?
Oh, yes, I'd be happy to.
You don't have to go.
Oh, that's an honor. Follow your dream. I did. My dream, I followed my dream to be a principal, and I'm so happy that I did that, because if I didn't do that, I would have had regrets. And I'm just turning 61 this year, and I have no regrets in my life, and I'm so happy to say that. I've not one regret. And our son is getting married in.
There's nothing to do with it.
I know, but it is happiness. I have to share that in 2 months. Oh,
Thank you for sharing that.
Yes, thank you. I share with everybody. Thank you.
Yes, a couple of the housekeeping items. I hear that from a lot of you that you didn't get emails. Okay?
No, good.
The thing is, the emails are going to the email that you're registered to this program with. Sometimes it is your parents' email, so the emails might be going to them. If you want emails to come to a particular email, either your email or your parents' email, send us an email saying that you want to change your registered email. Okay? Your email will be going to only one email. Yes.
Can you have 2 emails? Or
One email, because that is how our system is set up.
Oh.
So whichever day you check it, if you don't check it, let it go to your parents' email. But submit one email that you want the emails to go to. Because like if you have given us some other email, we have a couple of incidences where they had an email and they closed down that account. We won't be able to send an email to a closed account. So send us the right email. Again, last weekend was the only exception that we didn't have the seminar. I do send an email or the remind app. Like I think more than 40 of you have subscribed to Remind app. So I send a message about this session, but we would have the session every weekend, every Saturday between 1 and 2 here in New York Live for next 7 times now. The next week's seminar is going to be on effective teams given by Paul Cusino, and the week after it is going to be on public speaking by our international director candidate from Lions, Mel Bray. So those are the 2 seminars that we are going to have. As I told you, like I will be announcing 2 seminars. So those are the 2 seminars are coming up. So thank you everybody for coming here today, and I'm signing off.